and welcome to the group. Happy New Year from sunny Australia. My dog just keeps growling and barking at people that go and past outside, so just ignore him. He's down here at my feet here, so I'm giving him a little stroke to try and keep him calm. Anyway, the reason for this video is, one, I wanted to welcome you to the brand new group that I've created to help grow your business. And the reason for this group was that over the last 12 to 18 months, I've actually been working towards turning my art into a business, and with some success. So the reason for the group was because a lot of people ask me how they can make money from their resin art. Now this can apply to any art that you do, but the obviously, because I do the resin, so a lot of other resin artists were saying, well, how can I make money, how can I earn a living from my resin art? I want to give up my job, I want to earn a wage from it and things. So this is something I've been doing over the last 12 to 18 months. With the last 6 months, I've been actually earning a wage from this. So I felt it was now time to start sharing what I do to make a living from my art. Now, this group, because it's a brand new group, there's obviously not a lot of content in here just yet, but I do have plans for adding lots and lots of content in here and helping you grow your art business. So the first thing is, obviously we're moving into a brand new decade. I turned 50 at the end of last year, and so it's sort of dawned on me that over the next 10 years, obviously at the end of this decade, I'm going to be 60 and I'll be wanting to retire. So I'm thinking right now, the next 5 to 10 years, I've got to build up a business that can sustain me through retirement. That's not to say that at the end of this decade that I won't still be creating art and things like that, but my plan for the coming year and the following years is to build a business from my art. So, and in doing so, as part of that plan is to teach you what I do so that you can then go on and replicate what I'm doing. Now what I'm doing is not necessarily going to work for everybody, so all I can do is share my knowledge on what works for me, what doesn't. Some things, because obviously different markets in different countries, different things will work. So all I can do is share what is working for me and give you ideas on what can work for you. One of the biggest things that I think you need to know is that you need to diversify, and you need to make sure that what you do, what you need to make sure is you've got multiple streams of income coming in, because the art itself and creating art and selling art is only a small part of earning a living from your art business. Marketing is one of the major contributors. Well, it is the biggest contributor to selling your art, but it's also not the be all and end all. There's other things that you can do to help bring money into your business. So you need to create multiple streams of income. So this group is going to share with you different income streams that you can use to help build your business. And obviously during this, included in that plan is obviously me teaching you how to do that. So one of the first things that moving into 2020 is that I am creating an action plan for you guys to use moving forward, so that one, you start out the decade with the best intentions. So that is coming very soon. But in the meantime, I want you to reflect over the past 12 months. What were your highlights? What you achieved, and what you would like to achieve that you didn't achieve. And this is going to be the basis for thrusting you forward in 2020. So just let me give you a little example of the highlights of my year. So I went through my social media channels, YouTube and everything, and to see what kind of content I was posting. So any milestones I made and things. So I've gone through there over the year so that I can look back and share. So moving into the new year, I can see what was working, what wasn't. So for this purpose, I'm just going to share with you the highlights. In the next videos I'll share with you the things that I would perhaps have done differently and things like that. So for instance, at the start of 2019, in January, I had 5,000 YouTube subscribers. I'd actually made the decision to ditch Patreon, which I was using for 6 months prior to the beginning of the year. The reason I ditched Patreon, it might sound like this is a bit of a negative, but it actually turns into a positive, but I ditched Patreon because I was sharing videos on there which people were paying $4 a month to see, and I was sharing the videos for how I bend resin and things like that. And I found that a few people that had started sort of sharing on social media things that they created with the bending of the resin, and I realised that if I didn't make these videos public, that other people would start sharing the techniques that I was teaching and claim them for their own. So I realised that I had to ditch Patreon and make my videos free. And so I had probably about 10-15 videos that were not public on YouTube. So I realised that I needed to make that transition and make those videos available to the general public. My friend Jenny actually thought I was mad. She said, well, you're just ditching an income and then making them free. How are you going to make money from these videos if you put them all out for free? People will start using the technique, creating their own videos and everything. She said, so she actually thought I was mad, and I actually was unsure whether I was doing the right thing and decided to just go with my gut instinct to make these videos for free. So after my first month, I might want to add as well that because I'd already had videos up on YouTube, I did manage to monetize my channel at the end of November. So I'd already had 1 month of earning a little bit of money from YouTube. So it wasn't a lot. It was probably, my first month I probably earned about $100 or something like that. But in the January I started to release the videos, and I did start getting quite a lot of traction with people then following me and subscribing and everything like that, but I didn't really know how it was going to pan out. But in the January, my first proper month with releasing the videos, I actually earned $300, which doesn't sound a lot, but I then just replaced the income that I'd got from Patreon. Now I will go into in future videos the pros and cons of using the likes of Patreon and things like that, just sharing my experiences there. But for the time being, I'll just want to run through the highlights of the year. So for me, for January, that was a big highlight. Also in January, I had a major catastrophe with my website where it got corrupted and I had to build it from scratch. So I had to take a week out in January and rebuild my website. So I just went all out. I used a Divi theme and things like that on WordPress, and I just rebuilt the website. So that was another highlight for me in January, and getting my website up and running. In February, the highlight there for me was 100,000 views on one of my videos. That was the first time I'd hit 100,000 views on a video, and that was like such a major milestone for me. So that I felt then that I was moving in the right direction, and I was definitely doing the right thing by sharing the videos. So I continued through Feb, still releasing the videos, maybe 1 or 2 a week. I also had the major highlight that my family had come over from the UK to visit for a month, and in particular my sister, she'd come over and I hadn't seen her for 13 years. So although this is not business related, it was still a major highlight for me. So I've written that down as a highlight. And they were here for February and part of March. In April, I actually started releasing my time-lapse videos on Instagram and Pinterest. And this is where my Instagram channel and Pinterest channel started growing quite rapidly. By the end of May, my channels were growing by about 4,000 followers a month. So that was a major milestone for me, and it was a bit of a wake-up call on, well, not necessarily a wake-up call, but it was a big, what's the word I'm looking for? I struggle with words sometimes. It's that time because I'm now 50, I think. Yeah, so that was a major factor for me, was sort of seeing what was working and was what wasn't. And although what I was doing before, there was nothing wrong with that, is just changing some of the things that I was doing. I've seen massive growth. So I will be sharing again things that I do with Instagram, Pinterest and things like that in future lessons and what have you. So in May was the biggest turning point for me, and this is where I go into what I'm doing by diversifying. Whereas that in order to make enough money to continue giving the videos away for free and to pay for the supplies for the videos, I then decided to write an ebook. Now the ebook, a lot of you already have the ebook, which is the Essential Beginner's Guide to Resin Art Techniques. And it was my friend Jenny who said, why don't you put the book on pre-order while you write it? And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a scary thing, but then you've got to make that book by the end of the month. So I gave myself 30 days to write that book. So I got all the questions that I'd ever been asked or I'd seen in the group and everything like that, and compiled a list, and then literally just went through the list of questions and answered those questions in the book and put together the beginner's guide. And by the end of May, I'd actually brought in $2,000 without even selling the book, and on the 1st of June that book was released, and those that had pre-ordered it got a copy. I had major issues with my website not sending emails out and different things like that, so that was a bit of a challenge. So I had to physically send links to everybody in there, and then the emails were going to people's spam folders and stuff like that. So it's a major challenge with technology, and even now I'm still getting people contacting me saying, I never received a link to the book, and I'm still having to resend those links. So that was a bit of a learning curve as well. However, the highlight of that month was that I did sell enough books to replenish my supplies and continue making the videos for free. In June, I actually had quite a lot of requests for turning the book into a paperback version. So I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? So I googled it and everything, and I thought, right, well, Amazon's going to be the best way to do this. So I published the book on Amazon. That was the most exciting thing of, I would say, of 2019. I've never published a book before, and I was so nervous. And even though people were reading the ebook and everything like that, it was just the idea of publishing a physical book was actually quite scary but exhilarating at the same time. And I think it's been a long time since I've actually been that excited about anything really. So for me, I would say by far has been the biggest highlight for me this year, is publishing that book. In July, I learned a major lesson. I accidentally deleted 2,700 people from my email marketing list, and as I saw those numbers fading away to nothing, I actually thought to myself, oh my god, what am I going to do? I've got all these people that are subscribed to my newsletter and everything like that. But the highlight for me that month was when I mentioned in the Facebook group, the Resin and Art Mixed Media Art Techniques group, that, and tutorials I should say, was I posted in there that I'd accidentally deleted all these emails and said that if you still want to continue getting emails from me with the videos before the rest of the world, then please resubscribe to my newsletter. And in just under a week, I got 700 people who had re-added themselves. And for me, that showed me the power of having a Facebook group related to your art business, is because, you know, now since then, so that was what, July, so in the last 5 months I'm actually back up to 2,000 subscribers in the email list. So for me, it made me realise that, you know, this, if you're wanting to build a business, it's essential to have a Facebook group centred around your business. And again, I'll go into more detail on what I do and what I found works well in future videos. So August, I had my 50th birthday and my husband took me to Bali for a week, and so I just completely chilled, took it easy before coming back, knowing that I had lots of events coming up for the rest of the remainder of the year. So I took that time to just chill out, not do a great deal, sit on the beach and what have you, and that was just fabulous, because coming back I then had to prepare for the Mundaring Open Studios, my own joint exhibition, and just lots and lots of art awards that were coming up as well. So I had lots and lots of work that I had to do, so I recharged my batteries. So September was, I wouldn't say that there was really any highlights in September. There was not a great deal happened there, other than that I was preparing for the coming months. So in that sense, September was a lot of marketing. So there was a lot of talking about what was going to be happening, the open studios and the exhibition and everything like that. So I'd started a 6-week plan to create that. So as I mentioned earlier, building an art business is just not about creating art. You have to market that. If you don't show your art, no one will know it exists, so you'll never be able to sell it. So this is, you know, marketing is part of that process. So that's what happened in September. In October, the highlights there was I had a photo book printed of all my resin art over the last 18 months. So I put that together, and that's quite exciting to see that all in a physical book, you know, coffee table book. So I now have that on display at the gallery where I rent a little bit of wall space. I also achieved a People's Choice Award at the Kalgoorlie Art Awards, which was really, really exciting. I got $1,000, which I applied back into the business to buy more art supplies and things. So that was really exciting for then. Also, a major one for me was we had the Mundaring Open Studios. Here I sold quite a lot of art, and the studios were a huge success. I've made about $6,000 in art sales, and October was by far my best month, because not only with the art sales, the revenue I was earning from YouTube, from Amazon, from the book and everything else, meant that, you know, I'd actually doubled my sales in October. November, I had the joint exhibition with my friend Jenny. Now, while I didn't make a lot of sales at that exhibition, I actually learnt a lot in what I need to be doing in this year and the coming years and over the next decade. So that helped cement a few things for me, and one of them was obviously my plan for this year, which included doing the business video. So that was the highlight for me. And I also hit 2 million unique views on Pinterest from what I was doing on a regular basis by sharing time-lapse videos. So that was like, I've just seen massive growth there, so that was really good. But the good thing with that is it was sending people to my website, and I've made quite a few sales during the November and December months, which was fantastic. So reflecting over the past 12 months, in December, just the last couple of days at the end of December, I've actually hit 43,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that's almost 40,000 subscribers made in 2019, which is, you know, it comes down to being dedicated and publishing videos on a regular basis, making sure that the videos that I'm publishing is giving people ideas on what to do with their resin and things like that. So a result of, you know, being consistent and, you know, trying to publish at least one video a week is seeing my channel grow significantly. And this is what you need to do to get known, so people need to know, like and trust you before they will buy from you. So you need to get in the public eye, and you need to show your art and what have you. Also, looking back, so since publishing the book and releasing the ebook, I've made in paperback sales 607 sales since June, so in 6 months 607 sales, and my ebook 521 sales. So this is, you know, quite significant in the helping me to earn a wage. I've yet to sit down and calculate how many art sales have contributed to this year, so that's going to be what I'm working on for my plan and my goals for next year. So I know this is a little bit of a long-winded video, but I wanted to share with you what the highlights for the last year was and what my plans are for the coming year. My next video is going to be on how to plan, well, how I'm going to plan my next 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, so this decade basically, but starting out with, you know, with an action plan. And I'm going to be sharing with you the action steps that I'm going to be taking moving forward, and I'll create a workbook and things for you to use to help you. And there's so many things that I've got planned for this year. You know, I'm gonna be working on strategies on how to price your artwork, how to market yourself, you know, how to get your ideal customer profile, how to just literally just share your products, you know, where to sell your products, the different things that you can do to sell your products, how to create multiple income streams, and yeah, so the list goes on. So I've got huge plans for this group for this year, and so I thank you for joining me. So until next time, I hope you had a really, really good new year, and I hope this becomes a really successful year for us all. So until the next video, bye for now.